Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Awesome Wolf. Today I am on the 2.1 test server. Um, I've been given access by NAPO, and I've access to some of the lines. You got the M3A1, the M3A3, which I think was already in the game. M2A4, the M4A1, and the M4A3. Also another thing, because a lot of people of people are constantly asking me, oh, can I still get the T6 medium? From what I've been told, no. If you get the American Game Pass, this won't be available. I think it's the fact that it will not be available once the update's released. Yeah. Another thing is the American tanks. They are, how do I pull it? But if I look at the T6, the T6 has, I mean, it has, pretty good armor, and then the M4s kind of take that a little bit further. I mean, you've got these little nodules here, but most of the time, it's relatively thick, and if you angle in this, you can get up to some extreme numbers. Like, very extreme numbers. So, we are going to take this into battle. I'm also going to show you the new physics to the tanks. As you can hear, different sounds. Right, so turn this down to the pad. But also, look how the suspension works. And look how the tank maneuvers as well. But also you got camera shake and everything. Now I have been experimenting with this, and I've noticed that if I go towards the hill, come on tank, pick up speed. And when you go over like bumps and whatnot, you usually slow down. Not anymore. And this is a huge thing. Absolutely huge. But also the M4A1, which is a Technic tank, not only reloads quicker than the T6, has technically a more effective armor, and is more survivable. So I'm just going to capture the zone here. But also the M4 also turns practically on the spot. It doesn't like turn like the T6, because the T6 doesn't have neutral steering. I do adore the new sounds. I do really like the new sounds. The gun sounds, they probably haven't found any like solutions to the new gun sounds at all, which is fine. But other than that, I mean, the new sounds, new physics, everything is just awesome. But as you saw when I climbed up that hill, I didn't really slow down. stop here. But there is a camera shake. Also, another thing is, normally you would spot an enemy across the map with E. You can't do that anymore. There's an actual proximity circle around your tank, where if there's an enemy tank out of that circle, you will not spot him. If he's within the circle, you will spot him. So we're just going to go back up this hill. And as you can see, not losing any speed really, which is a huge improvement. It means that, you know, it just means that this is just going to be, you know, useful. So, I hold R. Come on, take me back. Okay, good. Don't have access to them. Damn it. Oh well. So, effectively, the if we actually have a look at the now, yeah, this armor's pretty damn good. Now there is a little nodule here, which I believe is actually part of the actual armor system. Here it is. If you angle like this, now I have noticed that right there, it's only 27 millimeters. What does that tell us? Well, it means there's a gap there. It means that the armor is not... You can see how it kind of sticks out just a tad. Now that goes up to, you know, ridiculous numbers. You know, we're talking like 800 millimeters. But do you angle properly in this thing? Like, probably like this. That's still the equivalent of, like, you know, 170 millimeters of armor. But then the front here, now I don't know why it does this. Probably some kind of bug or something. But the front here goes up to quite a bit of armor actually. Now we can see the horsepower is 450. If you go to the M41, it's 400. Now max speed is 38. Now, I could already tell you that the max speed, that's not entirely true. Now the max speed on here is 80. If we actually have a look here, it should show us the max speed. Come on, get up to speed. Now it can't quite get up to its max speed, which is a little bit disappointing. Ooh. It's also that as well, so if you ram into something, it's gonna make that sound. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. So if I just drag it to site randomly, you can notice that it makes that sort of like dull thud. Now hopefully if I drive into this tank here, it should create the sound. Yeah, there you go. Now, the Puma should be quicker. A lot quicker. Considerably quicker. Match ending, obviously. So this is 110 horsepower at 80 kilometers an hour. Now, get this here. 186 horsepower. Look. RP, okay. Interesting. Well, there you go. It did put some more on, which is fantastic. Team deathmatch, yep. But what I have noticed here is well, the T6, which was meant to get its shells changed, I believe Napo and Rat decided against it because the shells previously were so horrifically bad on this tank. So bad, like, how do I explain it? So, the T-34M, it has, well, admittedly, it looks absolutely fantastic at the moment. But it has some questionable rounds. Its highest penning round is 102 millimeters. Now, its lowest penning round, you know, the round that can actually do something, that's this round here. BR350B 8.6. If we look at the Americans, the T6 used to have a round where the penetration was 78 millimeters. That was on its least round. That was on its APHE CBC round, I think it was. I think it was like around like this. And it was 78 millimeters. And then its highest pen round was only 86. Which would put it on par with the M61 round. So you can kind of see what's going on here. But I'm really happy that they kept the same rounds from the because if I look here, M5 cannon, this uses an M6, and I believe they use the exact same rounds, which is true. But the thing is, oh yeah, I got a notice there. No, that's not additional armor. That's it's very odd. Spaced armor. Hang on a minute. What? What? I think that's a bug. Yeah, that's a bug. Hopefully Napo will see this and fix that right away because that's not meant to be happening at all. If you look at the M43, doesn't have that problem, which is a good thing. They do use the same guns, which is good. But the M43 is an absolute tank. How much health? 380. The M41 is 280. The T6 is 240. Which means that the M4A3, so if we compare it to K122, 307. T100, 750, obviously. T34, 330. M43, 380. Which means that this thing is basically on par with a heavy tank. Is it classified as heavy? No, it's medium. Now, if we go into armor, nope, doesn't have any peculiar signatures, which is interesting. If you want to kill this thing, shoot this. It's only 20 millimeters. Literally shoot this. And now, basically, every M4A3 player is now cursing the living crap out of me. You stupid son of a gun. But the M41, ooh, anyway, that was a little bit. Yeah, that's an actual bug. Anyway, look at the crew. So we got the whole crew. Yeah, you hit the ammo, it's going to explode. But what I have been told by Napo is that the M4s, they have ammo which is stored within wet ammo storage. Try to find the name there for a second. Basically means that these tanks are going to be notoriously hard to ammo rack. I know that sounds bad, but it makes these things extremely survivable. I shot one of these things in the ammo rack 3 times, and his ammo rack did not explode, which means you're not going to get an easy kill with shooting the things. Now, you have these 2 beautiful spaced armor plates here. That's where the ammo racks are stored. So, if you want to try an ammo rack one of these things, then shoot here. But turret, yeah, I mean, is it stronger than T6's turret? No, not really. Look at the M43, which uses a completely different turret. Then we can see it's got a cupola, which is nice, but it's going to be very troll penning this thing. We've got a heavy armor plate turret, obviously. And then we've got a gun mantlet. Now, it says it's got no spaced armor, but if we look at the M41, obviously it's got spaced armor here. So I do like this update. It only adds a few tanks in, but hey, you know, you can't complain that much. Hopefully we'll get the other tanks soon, which would be nice. But basically, these tanks are going to be absolute units. They're going to be very, very hard to kill. Very hard. And with the revamped tank mobility, trying to flank one of these things is going to be difficult. Because you're not going to be as maneuverable as you were in the previous updates. You're not going to be as quick to accelerate. Your tanks are going to act more real life tank-ish. They're going to act like, like War Thunder tanks and less World of Tanks. Basically, uh, with this new update coming out, this game has gone and taken the term realism and just inflated it by 1,000 times. Now, do I like this update? Yes. Do I think that more could have been done? They could have possibly squeezed a few more tanks in, but you shouldn't complain that much. Now, the other thing I've also noticed is that these tanks are tall. Holy God, they're tall. They are big tanks. Now, with the M4, I've kind of probably noticed a problem. If you come out the corner with the M4, and they basically have very similar holes, the M4 and the T6. T6 being the prototype to the M4. The T6, now, the amount of times I've had people shoot here, and it doesn't count as a hit, drives people insane. Ooh. That's meant to be an armor plate, isn't it? Can we find this armor plate at all? Yeah, that's meant to be an armor plate. So obviously that's meant to be a weak spot, which is interesting. It's got no detail there. Wait, is that an actual weak spot? Huh. That is curious. Anyway, I know that this has been a pretty hit and miss video, but I wanted to make this because the update is very, very close. And hopefully these tanks will be in the update. They are relatively tanky. Now, of course, if you use your gun depression of minus 12 degrees, something like this, your armor becomes very, very good. Very good. Extremely good, to be honest. The M43 has 10 degrees. Yes, thank you. So it'll be like this. Which means that the armor becomes insanely good. If you angle in this, it becomes extremely good, which means that nothing's going to pen you. Nothing will pen you. Now, you got this 107mm strip, which that technically should be 170, but I could be wrong. I don't think that this is the M4A3E2 variant, or basically the heavy tank variant. Now, this could be a bit of a problem, like when you're trying to hide something and then you just get shot here. I want to see, can I? Oh, I can't. Well, that's a bummer. But basically, I like the design of these tanks. I really, really, really do. Yeah, that's a gun back there. But if we look behind that, we should see. But hmm, interesting. Right. That's 51. 76. Yeah, these things are going to be pretty damn tanky. Pretty damn tanky. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, give a thumbs down. Put in the comment section, do you enjoy the look of the new tanks? Of course, it's not all the new tanks. It's only some of them. But hopefully we will be able to see them soon. Anyway guys, I'm going to see you in the next video. Peace!